So there's an interesting scenario playing itself out with some of Donald Trump's legal problems, specifically his immunity plea that he, of course, argued in court last week. Now, here's what's happened. You had Reagan-era former Attorney General of the United States, Ed Meese. Ed Meese filed an amicus brief in that particular case about the immunity, where he argued, former Attorney General argued, that Jack Smith, his appointment as the special prosecutor, is unconstitutional. Because, as Ed Meese says in his amicus brief, Jack Smith wasn't working for the Department of Justice. Therefore, as a non-DOJ employee, he legally cannot be appointed as special prosecutor, Ed Meese tells us. And Ed Meese would know, right? I mean, Ed Meese was Attorney General of the United States. So, at the hearing, or I think it was actually after the hearing, one of Donald Trump's lawyers was asked about the amicus brief, like, hey, are y'all going to go down this route challenging Jack Smith's constitutional ability to even be a special prosecutor? And the Trump lawyer says, I think it raises very powerful questions, but we have not raised it at this time. So the lawyer's hinting at like, oh, I kind of like it, but we're not doing that yet. See, they're going to wait till after the immunity issue is settled, which likely will not go in Donald Trump's favor. And then after that, to further delay the trial, they're going to say, okay, you know what? Let's do the Meese argument. And let's say that Jack Smith is not constitutionally allowed to be the special prosecutor because he wasn't an employee at the DOJ. Ha! So that gives us another few months to delay trials, right? Not exactly. Because Ed Meese is wrong. Even though he was Attorney General of the United States, even though he should know these things, there actually is not a rule at the Department of Justice that a special prosecutor has to be an employee of the Department of Justice. You want a recent example? How about Robert Mueller? Robert Mueller, for the Mueller investigation, let's not forget that, almost 2 years of investigating Donald Trump, he wasn't an employee of the DOJ. Ed Meese wasn't filing amicus briefs saying he can't do it because No, nobody raised an eyebrow. You let the investigation continue, and then you listen to the report where Mueller did not charge Donald Trump, and then you were happy with that. But now you have another special prosecutor, same situation, investigating Donald Trump, not an employee of the DOJ, but he did charge Trump. So now you're like, oh, well, no, you can't do that. You're unconstitutional. But you had no problem with Robert Mueller doing the same thing, just not bringing charges, see? Because if you want to argue that Robert Mueller was an improper special prosecutor, then we just need to relaunch that investigation, I guess, right, Mr. Meese? Is that what you're arguing? Plus, let's not forget that Merrick Garland, the current Attorney General of the United States, actually did sanction this. He approved it, and he approved the indictments. So, yeah. I would say that Ed Meese is wrong. And of course, conservative legal scholars, if such a thing actually exists, have agreed with Meese. They're like, oh, I think Meese has a great argument. Yeah, absolutely. But other normal legal scholars have said, no, like that's because it's not a thing. Like you're out there saying this is unconstitutional because he's not an employee, but that's not a requirement, never has been. So we don't even know what you're talking about, but we know it's wrong because that's simply not a thing the DOJ has to do. But this is an argument, I guarantee you, after Trump's immunity claims get smacked down, this will be the next avenue because it's their last-ditch effort to continue to delay the inevitable. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.